Alright, companies and individuals may use either flat files or databases to store and manage data. Discuss two major weaknesses of flat files when used for storing data. Alright, so normally flat files have most straightforward issue would be duplication of data. Duplication of data happens because there is no way to ensure unique keys, unique IDs are entered when added to the file. Alright, duplication of data, easy. If you had redundancy, that's cool too. Pretty much. Then you have a next bigger one is inconsistency. Because there are no defined data types, things can be put in, however, they are entered. Example, day, month, year, and month, day, year. Alright, that'll be easy. You could also have data security issues because the flat file will be accessible by multiple people, and yeah, those are usually flat file stuff. Alright, a data warehouse, a data mart, and data mining. Okay, a warehouse is like where you where data is collected and collated and stored for future use / analysis. Data mart is a single data source where data for specific items would be collected and briefly analyzed. And data mining is finding patterns within collections of data to produce trends. Yeah, to produce trends. Cool. Alright, next question is explain how the internet and a database can be used by an international retail chain with outlets in 5 countries to assist top management in making decisions about products. Right. So this whole thing is about making decisions, and they want to show you how databases could be used, but you have to mention stuff about the internet. And this is a 5-mark question. 5-mark question is very important that you kind of try to get the 5 points clear in your head and break it down. So the first thing, is an international retail trade on 5 continents, right? So each continent will collect and house data in their own data marts as one. 2, the data will be transmitted to a single data warehouse using a network /VPN, right? Because it's sending it through the internet, you don't want to send the data through the internet insecurely. So a network of VPN, or you could say extranet. Any one of the 3 days should be able to fit in. The aggregated, how to spell aggregated? AGR. So that looks correct there. I think it's 2 G's.
I think it's 2 G's.
Sound like ag. Yeah, that looks better, right? The aggregated data would then be analyzed for trends and patterns. For the patterns would be placed in a report that would be understandable to the top management. And then 5, the management would make informed decisions based on the knowledge they have gained about the stores. Right, 5 marks. There are no way they could get vexed there because the study will process. The key part here that a lot of students I think would miss out is that the internet part was mentioned. And that internet part there, that second point where it's transmitted via like the internet or using the VPN or something like that. Yeah, name 3 symbols that can be used in a data flow diagram. Name this here, no? Oh, external entity, data store, and process. Yeah, then you also have directional arrow. Alright, a point of sale system in a supermarket operates as follows. Each item has a barcode, data, item ID, description, price. And each item is stored in the database. A cashier scans each item with a barcode reader and returns the quantity for each item to be sold. Total to be paid by the customer is calculated. Customer pays for the items purchased. Okay. Using the system described above, describe one entity. An entity is a person. So we have a cashier and customer. Cashier, customer. Both are accepted. One data store. Where do they store data? It is stored in a database. What is the name of the database? I don't know. We just call it a database. What word do they have for database? They just have database there. The item is stored in a database. But they didn't say it was the item database. I like the item database. Just in case, they want to be cute with their answer. 2 data flows. They answer the question here. They answer part A and part B. Wow. I thought they only used to do that in CSEC. This is the first time I ever noticed this. Alright, 2 data flows. Total to be paid. That is this one here. That's our data flow and a receipt. Yeah. They also have this scan each item with a barcode reader and enters the quantity. Quantities are data store too. Quantity. Yeah. Data flows. You have plenty data flows there. Each item has a barcode. A barcode is one of the data flows too. The barcode will move too. Alright, draw level 1 DFD with no more than 3 processes to depict the flow of data in the point of sale system as above. So level 1 DFD, we had to be able to put in we have to put in the data stores and stuff. 6 marks, cake. Alright, so it starts off by this. Each item has a barcode. Data item. The cashier scans each item with a barcode reader and enters the quantity for each item to be sold. So the cashier, so the customer comes in and gives the item. Customer, item. Item goes into a process called scan barcode. SCAN barcode. After I scan the barcode, I'm going to have to pull that information from a data store. That data store is called item database. And I'm going to send the barcode. And I'm going to get back the ID. Anything else? Nope. And they enter the quantity for each item to be sold. The total is calculated. So now we have to calculate total. Calculate total. They will send the quantity. Quantity goes into calculate total, and we need to get the price. Send the quantity and the ID, and then we will pull the price from here. Price goes into calculate total. The total will be calculated, and the customer will pay for the items purchased. Or the customer will not pay. Okay, so we calculate total. That goes to a process called create receipt. We'll just say the customer pays here. Customer pays, and then customer gets receipt. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, basically that's it. 6 marks would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I, and 6 for all the arrows. Yay! Let's see what the good old examiner's report teaches us about this. Entity is cashier, customer, data stores, database here, data flows, right? Good, yeah. Most candidates were unable to utilize the correct symbols to draw logical DFT. Common errors are using nouns for processes and writing full sentences for data flows. Thanks. Calculate total, scan barcode, create receipt. Yep. Alright, that's 6 marks there. The management of the supermarket decided to allow some of its loyal customers to pay at the end of the month rather than at the time when the items are purchased. So that's one change that could be made to the DFT to justify your response. Oh, so just one change that could be made to the DFT, justify your response. Allow some loyal customers to pay at the end of the month rather than at the time when the items are purchased. You could create a file or data store to keep tabs. That way you could store the total. Yeah, that would be a justification. You could store the totals. Ta-da! Yeah, good. Alright. Several database models exist. Name 3 database models. Alright, these are straightforward. Hierarchical. If you spell it wrong, that's okay. Hierarchical. Yeah, I think that's it. And you have relational. You have object-oriented. Alright, describe any two of the database models listed above. Give one example of where a model may be appropriately used. Alright, so let's go. Part B would be I'm gonna do relational. Relational is very easy. Relational tables are created and they are joined by common fields known as primary keys, which makes them easier to search. And they say give one example of where it may be appropriately used. Example, in a school with multiple. I was going to put a school with multiple teachers, but a school will have multiple teachers, classes, and teachers. Yeah, that would be cool, yeah. School with multiple classes and teachers. Good stuff there. Hierarchical. This one is the next easiest one. hierarchical. Tables are related using set patterns that are very inflexible but get queries done quickly. Example, in a bank where speed is important, where search speed is important. Yeah, object-oriented, real hard to explain because object-oriented would be for like databases that have media and complicated stuff. Alright, the computer science department at a university wishes to store data on students' module results for a certificate in diploma programs. The data requirements are defined as follows. Student is given a unique number. Oh, is that ERD? See? No, it's a table. Okay, my bad. Oh, this is the normalization question from hell. Alright. Is the one that have multiple answers? Is this one? Yep. Alright, the student is given a unique number. Cool, that's basically a primary key. Student has a first name or last name, module code, module, academic year, 2 semesters. Student may reset certificate program comprises 3 modules. Diploma program comprises 6 modules. Alright, cool. The figure below shows the structure of the database and some of the entries. So right away we have a big problem because the data not atomic and all that stuff. So it's a really messed up file. Other than students, identify 3 entities named in the requirements listed above. We have course module, academic year, and semester. Yeah. So module code. Well, module, sorry. Because you can't, what you're basically trying to do is you're trying to match these things, module and module. So that is an entity. And the attributes will be module code and module score. Then you have a program. And then you have a semester. Yeah. Grade or mark could be cool. I guess so. Yeah, grade will be accepted too. Because the grade and the total mark, they would be. The grade will be a C, but the total mark will be like an attribute of the grade. Possibly. Alright, when the data in the figure are stored in a fully normalized relational database, 3 of the tables are student, module result, and student grade. Student, module result, and student grade. Using standard notation, write the third normal form. Jump straight to normal form for the module result relation. Alright, so we are to write out ensuring that the primary key is underlined, right? So we then there's module result, open brackets. For module results, we need to have the module code. by itself. So definitely module code is the primary key. And then the module code will match to the module score. Because the module code and the module score, they will be definitely related to each other. But my problem is, if you were to try to break down the other parts of this database for student and student grade, it will be quite difficult because you'll have to put the student ID as the primary key, first name and last name, student name, no ID, first name and last name, and then the module that they did. But when the module relates to module result, you're only gonna get one relationship because it can have many. If the score is attached to the module, they got by issue. And then the student grade now will be the grade that will be matched to their the module code. I don't know. This here was where we had the problem. Because this makes sense, but it doesn't make sense because module score and module code can't be intrinsically linked to each other. Because then you'll never be able to separate the marks for each child. But nonetheless, that would be the answer that's correct. And that will be the answer that you get the 3 marks for. You don't need to go any deeper into it because they didn't ask you to do all 3 of the tables. If they asked you to do all 3 of the tables, then we'd have a big problem. So, draw an Erd diagram for this. We have module. But in drawing the Erd diagram, you're going to have to try to make sense of it. So, a student has a first name and a surname, and that student can do how many modules? A student could do many modules. So one student does many modules. I should pull that up just now. That wasn't my plan. One student does many modules. Does many modules. Right. So one student does many modules, and we know for sure that grade a student has multiple grades. One student has many grades. And a grade has a total mark. And a grade letter. Grade letter. Yeah, so I'll put that there. A module has a module score. And a name. But you see the problem, right? See the issue? It's 3 marks for it. how do they want you to get that for 3 marks? What did they want for 3 marks? What did you do? But yeah, the 3 marks here, I can't even imagine what they would be looking for 3 marks, because yeah. And the examiner's report says most candidates were able to identify accurately only one of the 2 relationships required in the diagram. A significant number of candidates were unable to identify the correct cardinalities. Like, all they really want is the 1 to many or the many to 1. Like, one student could do many modules and one student could have many grades. But many grades could be assigned to, to one student. Many modules are done by many students. Yeah, somehow I feel many modules should be done by many students, you know. We should put many here. Many modules done by many students. One student has many grades, but many students also have many grades. Student may reset a module. Yeah, it's very controversial. I wish I could give you a more detailed answer, but if you draw that diagram there, it's highly likely that the 3 marks will be inside there somehow. So just draw the full diagram, and whatever they're looking for, it should be inside there. That is my only advice. Alright, part C. When the head of the computer science department wishes to query the tables for student first name, last name, and grade in descending order by total marks, state 2 SQL commands that could be used in building the query, right? So they want to query the tables for first name, last name, and grade. So the 2 SQL commands will be select from yeah, pretty much. If they have, or no, the descending order had to be a part of it too. Okay, then you had to put order by. Order by will order it in ascending or descending order. But select and from should be okay, you know. Student by first name, last name, and surname, order by total marks. So you're selecting first name, last name, and grade from the table, and then you had to order it by. Okay. Yeah, so select from and order by. Yeah, those will be the 2 commands that you have to put in.